Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's chant this together. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We can also recite Mangalacharan together. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gatadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanti Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining for the wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam class and the narration that we are currently on. The glories of Ambarish Maharaj. So today we will read from Canto 9, Chapter 4, text 49 through 63. So we can start reading the translations one by one, please.
Upon seeing that his own attempt had failed and that the Sudarshan Chakra was moving toward him, Durvasa Muni became very frightened and began to run in all directions to save his life.
As the blazing flames of a forest fire pursue a snake, the disk of the Supreme Personality of Godhead began following Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni saw that the disk was almost touching his back, and thus he ran very swiftly, desiring to enter a cave of Sumeru mountain.
Just to protect himself, Durvasa Muni fled everywhere in all directions, in the sky, on the surface of the earth, in caves, in the ocean, on different planets of the rulers of the three worlds, and even on the heavenly planets. But wherever he went, he immediately saw following him the unbearable fire of Sudarshan Chakra.
With a fearful heart, Durvasa Muni went here and there, seeking shelter, but when he could find no shelter, he finally approached Lord Brahma and said, O my Lord, O Lord Brahma, kindly protect me from the blazing Sudarshan Chakra sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Lord Brahma said at the end of the Parada, when the pastime of the Lord come to the end, Lord Vishnu, by the flick of his eyebrow, vanquishes the entire universe, including our places of residence. Such personalities such as me and Lord Shiva, as well as Daksha, Brigu, and similar great sages, saints, of which they are the head, and also the ruler of the living entity and the rulers of human society, and the rulers of the demigods, all of us surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, bowing our heads to carry out his order for the benefit of all living entities.
When Durvasa, who was greatly afflicted by the blazing fire of the Sudarshan Chakra, was thus refused by Lord Brahma, he tried to take shelter of Lord Shiva, who always resides on his planet known as Kailash.
Lord Shiva said, My dear son, I, Lord Brahma, and the other demigods who rotate within this universe under the misconception of our greatness cannot exhibit any power to compete with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For innumerable universes and their inhabitants come into existence and are annihilated by the simple direction of the Lord.
Text 57 and 59 to 59. Past, present, and future are known to me, Lord Shiva says. Lord Shiva. Sanat Kumar Narada, the most revered Lord Brahma, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Pantaratma, Lord Vyasadeva, Devala, Yamaraj, Asuri, Marichi, and many saintly persons, headed by him, as well as many others who have achieved perfection. Nonetheless, because we are covered by the illusory energy of the Lord, we cannot understand how expansive that illusory energy is. You should simply approach that Supreme Personality of Godhead to get relief, for this Sudarshan Chakra is intolerable even to us. Go to Lord Vishnu. He will certainly be kind enough to bestow all good fortune unto you.
Thereafter, being disappointed even in taking shelter of Lord Shiva, Durvasa Muni went to Vaikuntha Dham, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, resides with his consort, the Goddess of Fortune.
Text 61. Durvasa Muni, the great mystic, scorched by the heat of the Sudarshan Chakra, fell at the lotus feet of Narayan. His body trembling, he spoke as follows: O infallible, unlimited Lord, protector of the entire universe, you are the only desirable objective for all devotees. I am a great offender. My Lord, please give me protection.
Text 62. O my Lord, O Supreme Controller, without knowledge of your unlimited prowess, I have offended your most dear devotee. Very kindly save me from the reaction of this offense. You can do everything, for even if a person is fit for going to hell, you can deliver him simply by awakening within his heart the holy name of your Lordship.
Yeah, so I think I can read that. Okay, text 63. Let's recite the verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aham bhakta paradhino Hyasvatantra iva dvija Sadhubir grasta hridayo Bhakter bhakta jana priyaha Shri Bhagavan uvacha Aham bhakta praradhino Hyasvatantra iva dvija Sadhubhigrasta hridayo Bhakter bhakta jana priyaha Shri Bhagavan uvacha Aham bhakta paradhino Hyasvatantra iva dvija Sadhubhigrasta hridayo Bhakter bhakta jana priyaha. This is really important text. So as many of you can recite this, it'll be really nice. So yes, Jashna. Shri Bhagavan uvacha Aham bhakta paradhino Yasvatantra iva dvija Sadhubhigrasta hridayo Bhakter bhakta jana priyaha Shri Bhagavan uvacha Aham bhakta paradhino Yasvatantra iva dvija Sadhubhigrasta hridayo Bhakter bhakta jana priyaha Shri Bhagavan uvacha Aham bhakta paradhino Yasvatantra iva dvija Sadhubhigrasta hridayo Bhakter bhakta jana priyaha Shri Bhagavan uvacha Aham bhakta paradhino Yasvatantra iva dvija Sadhubhigrasta hridayo Bhakter bhakta jana priyaha. Thank you so much. Actually, reciting this text would really please Kalachandji because this is such a wonderful verse. It describes the character of the Lord, which we'll delve into. So, word to word translations, we can read this together. Shri Bhagavan uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Aham, I, Bhakta Paradhina, am dependent on the will of my devotees. He, indeed, Asvatantraha, am not independent. Iva, exactly like that. Dvija, O Brahmana, Sadhubhihi, by pure devotees completely free from all material desires. Grasta Hridayaha, my heart is controlled. Bhaktaha, because they are devotees. Bhakta Jana Priyaha, I am dependent not only on my devotee, but also on my devotee's devotee. The devotee's devotee is extremely dear to me. Please drink the nectar from the translation and the purport that we're about to read. Each and every sentence is very important. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said to the Brahmana, I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires, I sit only within the course of their hearts. What to speak of my devotee? Even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me. Purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All the great stalwart personalities in the universe, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, are fully under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is fully under the control of his devotee. Why is this? Because the devotee is anya abhilashita shunya. In other words, he has no material desires in his heart. His only desire is to think always of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and how to serve him best. Because of this transcendental qualification, the Supreme Lord is extremely favorable to the devotees. Indeed, not only the devotees, but also the devotees of the devotees. Shri Narottam Das Thakur says, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Paye Chekeba. Without being a devotee of a devotee, one cannot be released from material entanglement. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu identified himself as Gopi Bhartor Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Anu Dasaha. Thus he instructed us to become not directly servants of Krishna, but servants of the servant of Krishna. Devotees like Brahma, Narada, Vyasadeva and Shukadev Goswami are directly servants of Krishna, and one who becomes a servant of Narada, Vyasadeva and Shukadev, like the 6 Goswamis, is still more devoted. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur therefore says, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadaha. If one very sincerely serves the spiritual master, Krishna certainly becomes favorable to such a devotee. Following the instructions of a devotee is more valuable than following the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. Haribo. So, what's going on currently? We have read about how Durvasa Muni, the great saint, came to see Ambrish Maharaj and his wife in Vrindavan. And both husband and wife, Ambrish Maharaj and his wife, both very qualified devotees, grihastas, and being a king, Ambrish Maharaj played all the roles very perfectly. He was a wonderful first-class devotee, and not that because he was a devotee he neglected his duties. He took care of his family, he took care of the affairs of the kingdom, and he was a perfectly situated, in a perfectly situated position. He was performing his devotional services as well. And so for 1 year, he was fasting, Ekadashi. We fast for 1 day, but Maharaj and his wife were fasting for 1 whole year in Vrindavan. And so just quickly giving a brief for this story, that on Dwadashi, when Durvasa Muni comes, Ambrish Maharaj and his wife invite him over and say that, please honor prasadam at our house, and Durvasa Muni accepts and says, I will go to take snan, to take a bath in Yamuna, and I'll be back. But he does it takes a lot of time. He's not coming back soon, he delays. And because it's the day of Dwadashi, Ambrish Maharaj and the queen, they are waiting to break the fast, right? As we do Paran on Dwadashi, and there's a limited time that we have to open our fast in so that our fast can be completed. And so, because he was in Dharm Sankat, he didn't know what to do, because he cannot eat without feeding his guest first. So they honor some water, because water is something that if you drink, or it'll break the fast also, but it'll also not break the fast. So he very nicely, played this, in this difficult time, he decided to do this. And through the mystical powers of Durvasa Muni, he understood what had happened, and he immediately became very angry. And he created this fiery demon, which was like made fully of fire, and sent it to attack Ambrish Maharaj. But as we all know, we have read this in previous classes, that Ambrish Maharaj, being a wonderful devotee, Lord Vishnu had given him his Sudarshan Chakra. Like Sudarshan Chakra was always protecting Ambrish Maharaj. And Sudarshan Chakra destroyed the fiery demon that was sent by Durvasa Muni. Imagine, usually we use fire to destroy something. Here, Sudarshan Chakra destroyed fire itself and burnt it into ashes. And now we are today going to read from this, understand the story from this point, that the Sudarshan Chakra, sent by Lord Vishnu, is now chasing Durvasa Muni everywhere. Now the Durvasa Muni is miserable. He's trembling. He's running everywhere. He went to Sumeru mountain. He went to all the 3 worlds just to find refuge, to escape from this Sudarshan Chakra. Where did he go first? To which demigod? He went to Brahma, yes. And Lord Brahma said that, well, I cannot protect you because I am completely dependent on Vishnu himself. So I'm sorry, I cannot give you refuge. And then he goes to Lord Shiva. And Shiva also says the same thing, that me, Brahma, and all the demigods are completely dependent on Krishna. So you must go to Vishnu and take shelter. Now he's panicking. Durvasa Muni is literally, it's written that he's scorching in the heat of Sudarshan Chakra because it's almost touching him. And Sudarshan Chakra is a very powerful weapon. Of course, it belongs to the Lord himself. And when you have offended a devotee, you've touched literally fire of the Lord. Like the Lord is supremely angry. And Sudarshan Chakra is about to attack him, and he reaches Vishnu Lok. He goes to Vaikuntha. And when Durvasa Muni goes to Vaikuntha, he bows down to Vishnu and he's offering his prayers and he's saying, please protect me, Lord. You are the ultimate protector. I am here to take your shelter. Please protect me. And so one can say that, we always hear Vaikuntha is a place where there is no kuntha, which means there is no misery. But Durvasa Muni was in a miserable condition. Then how come even after entering Vaikuntha, he was feeling miserable? Yes, he did. He's a wonderful sage. Durvasa Muni has had all the mystical powers. He could enter, but he cannot stay in Vaikuntha. He could enter and leave, but he could not stay in Vaikuntha. That's what I heard in a lecture. And the reason that he was still miserable, being in a place where there is no misery, is because he was still identifying with his body, because he was still asking the Lord for protection of his body. So this is a very important point for all of us, that whether we are in Bhuloka or we are in spiritual planets, what really matters is that we know our true identity, that we are soul, we are part and parcel of Krishna. And so Durvasa Muni had forgotten all this, and he reached and he was begging for mercy from Vishnu. And what did Lord Vishnu say? First he said, I am aham bhakta paradhino. I am completely dependent on my devotees. I am completely under the control of my devotees. I am not at all independent, Durvasa. And then he says, I am not here. If you're coming to seek mercy from me, I am not here. What does that mean? What is the place where Lord resides? Yes. It's such a beautiful thing, right? The Lord resides in the core of the hearts of pure devotees. That's his than. That's his place of residence. If somebody asks, what's your address? Dallas, Texas, 75223. Right? Krishna will say, my residence is the place of the core of the heart of a pure devotee, but with a condition. Like pure devotee means a person which has no material desires, who's completely surrendered to Krishna. Every day we are praying in the month of this Damodar. What are we praying? And there's 4th stanza, right? Idam teva purnatha gopal balam sada me manasya virashtam kimanye. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours, Bal Gopal, in Vrindavan, may ever be manifested in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? So even a devotee is praying, Krishna, please be manifested in my heart. And Krishna says, yes, that is the residence. That is my residence. Your heart is the place where I always wish to reside. And We see in so many pastimes, Krishna is actually completely dependent on his devotees, right? Can you tell me some of the pastimes that come to your mind where Krishna is just dependent on his devotee? Mother Yashoda, the very month of Kartik, right? If you see that picture, what is Mother Yashoda binding Krishna with? We see ropes, but it is the ropes of love. It's love that binds Krishna. And Krishna is like, yes, I am ready to be bound by the love of my devotee. Right? You want to say something?
She wants to say Radharani.
Radharani, yes. Actually, this Damodar pastime started with Radharani and Krishna. One day Krishna was late. You want to recite that past? You want to read that pastime?
She also wants to say gopis.
Gopis, yes. I'll come to that. Yes, Radharani, gopis, Mother Yashoda. So, Yashoda Damodar pastime manifested in this world. Krishna manifested here, but it originated in Golok Vrindavan between Radha and Krishna. When Krishna was late to coming to Nikunja, one of the intimate forests of Vrindavan, of Golok Vrindavan, Radharani, as usual, when Krishna came, she was very upset, transcendently upset at him, Lord. When the chakra attacked Durvasa Muni was like, he lost it completely. He was trembling in fear. He was so scared, and he went everywhere. Like if you ever see cartoons, if you see cartoon like runs in all directions in a funny way. Similarly, Durvasa Muni was running everywhere, and Sudarshan Chakra followed him. It's not that if something cannot enter this room, for example, some kind of weapon is stopped by these walls, but Sudarshan Chakra could penetrate through anything, spiritual, material, made of matter, anything. But when the fiery demon attacked Ambrish Maharaj, what was Ambrish Maharaj's reaction? He was just standing calm and composed, did not even beg for protection from the Lord, because he said, if Krishna, this is your desire, so be it. Even though he didn't do anything wrong. There are times when we don't do it. Maybe, let's say there are times if we don't commit any offense and somebody feels offended, we have a whole page of justification from in our heart going on in our mind that I didn't even do this. I didn't even mean to do this. Why is this person making my life so hard? And then we have so many justifications. But Ambrish Maharaj just completely stood there and accepted whatever it was. And one more thing, he fasted for 1 year, and then when Durvasa Muni was running for protection, it took another whole year. He went to Satyalok, he went to so many planets, he went to Vaikuntha. 2 years Durvasa. So 1 year Ambrish Maharaj fasted, and the next 1 year he waited. Just because he thought, okay, yes, my guest is offended, and let me just wait. And he was praying, when praying for the Lord to be merciful to Durvasa Muni. So, what else do we see? What else? There's one thing that comes to my mind when we talk about the character differences between Durvasa Muni and Ambrish Maharaj. Why did Durvasa Muni take an offense which was not an offense, right? He through his mystical power, he understood that Ambrish Maharaj had water, and even though Vishnu later on tells him that Durvasa, you need to go and learn from Ambrish Maharaj the Shastras. Drinking water is not going to break his fast. He says that later on. So, but he still feels offended. That is because he thinks, I am greater than Ambrish in every way. In Varnashram system, I am completely renounced. He is a grihastha, he is a king. So how can he offend me? So the moment we start thinking that I am better than the other person, I am better than this devotee, we will take all kinds of offenses which are not even meant to be an offense, because we are connected to the labels that we are forming. That I am practicing for 30 years, in Krishna consciousness, I'm a disciple of so-and-so person, this is a new person, how can this person say this to me? How can this person not greet me? And we will take so many offenses, right? We might not tell it to people, but we have a whole list going on in the head. So, the only identity of a devotee is that I am the servant. And Krishna says that the servant is dear to me, but who is more dear? The servant of the servant of the servant of my devotee. So, in the material world, corporate world, we see who is the most highest, in the highest position, right? CEO, manager, we see all those positions. But what does Krishna say in spiritual, in our devotional life? Who is standing at the most back? Who is serving from behind? That is the quality that Krishna wants to see, because that devotee is most dear to Krishna. And so also we see Durvasa Muni keeps getting angry in so many pastimes. We should understand this, that even sometimes in spirituality, anger, we have a lot of times we can get angry. And that anger actually comes when we get attached to the austerity we are performing. Devotional service is not about austerity, like I can do this, like Kartik Vratas, right? We have a lot of sankalpas, people are taking a lot of vows, which is wonderful. But we should not get attached to the level of austerity we are performing, because that is not the goal, right? Is that going to please Krishna? If I'm doing austerities, that will please Krishna, but the mood with which I am doing the austerity, the highest mood is that am I pleasing Krishna by this? Is Krishna getting pleased? In the process of pleasing Krishna, am I offending devotees? That's something we constantly need to remember, constantly need to reflect on. If I'm serving devotees, then Krishna will be more pleased. And so in this pastime, we see Ambrish Maharaj is actually serving in every way. You remember in last week's class, we read in the purpose how Ambrish Maharaj uses all his senses to serve Krishna. He used his mind to meditate upon the Lord. He used his ears to hear the pastimes of the Lord. He used his nose to, let's say, smell the offered flowers to Krishna. We can use our tongue for two things, for eating Mahaprasad and to glorify Lord and His devotees. We use our heart to have desires that are favorable for Krishna consciousness. We can use our hands to clean the temple, to serve the Lord, our legs to do parikrama, circumambulate around the temple or holy dhams. So, mind, body, senses, everything can be used in the service of the Lord, ultimately, which brings everything in unison, that our soul is completely surrendered to Krishna. Our heart is completely surrendered to Krishna. So, one more thing that, sometimes we say that having a lot of possessions, maybe that's against spiritual life, but Ambrish Maharaj was a king. He was a powerful king. Even though he had so many possessions, but he was not possessive about it, in the sense that he was not in the mode of being an owner of the things that belonged to him. Imagine a king, what kind of facilities they get, what kind of royal services and treatment they can get. But still, even being at the highest position, to be a menial servant of the Lord is a very big thing. We being in our ordinary positions, it's very hard for us to let our egos go away or to let that possessiveness go away. But for a king to do that, for Ambrish Maharaj who showcased this wonderful quality, is really a true remark of being a devotee. Even his wife was very supportive in his spiritual activities. That is also very helpful. So the ashram that you are in, be it grihastha, brahmachari, it's very helpful that your circumstances, the situations around you, are favorable. Sometimes the situations cannot be favorable. Still, we have seen devotees. In Ramayana, where was Vibhishan living? Among demigods or demons? He was staying among demons. His brothers were Ravana, Kumbhakaran, and sister Supanakha, and the whole Lanka land was full of demons. Still, he practiced in a mood of servant, was a Ram Bhakta. He was a devotee of the Lord. But even in Ayodhya, there was someone named Manthara, who was completely away from the association of the Lord, completely away from spiritual consciousness. So even if situations, the circumstances are not favorable, we can still choose to be Krishna conscious. Of course, that comes with a lot of mercy, but we are very lucky that we have devotees around us. Living in a devotee community where we have festivals every day, especially these 30 days, we have association, we have this spiritual potency showering upon us with so much mercy. I will end with one pastime and then we can open for discussion. Again, touching on this line that Krishna is completely dependent on his devotees, and the fact that he's so merciful. This pastime is stated in Padma Puran. So this pastime is about a rat. Okay, we see a lot of, especially in temples, it's very normal sight to see rats in India, especially. So there was this rat who would feed on ghee, the clarified butter. And once the rat was hopping around and it jumped on the ghee, on the lamp, which was already lit. So it wanted to eat that butter, that ghee, and the lamp was already lit. And it was the month of Kartik. Someone had offered that lamp to Krishna. And the rat, of course, its tail caught fire from the lamp, and it was just, it was burning, and it was just going here and there because the whole body was burning. But Krishna saw it as the rat is offering lamp to him, and saw that, oh, this rat is dancing for me. And the rat got a human life as a devotee in next birth. So Krishna just, imagine for someone who doesn't want to even do devotion service, but accidentally does, Krishna gives mercy to them. What to speak of devotees who are doing so much austerity, so much hardships to please Krishna. See, for Putana also, did she come to give milk to Krishna? No, she came to give poison. Still Krishna delivered her as a mother. So, even if she didn't have the intention to please the Lord. So the Lord is so merciful, and that Lord is residing in your heart. Sarvasya chaham hridishani vishta. He is always residing in the heart of his devotee as Paramatma. So I will pause here and we can open for discussion. Yes, there can be so many discussions and realizations especially. So please go ahead. Mother Kunti and then Lalita Sundari Mataji.
Thank you very much for preparing and helping us get more insight here. 2 questions. Sudarshan Chakra, it's so fast. I mean, why did it pause? I mean, it's the Sudarshan Chakra, Krishna just thinks and that's it. And then the other one is when Durvasha was supposedly in samadhi or, absorbed in trance when he was in the river bathing. How is it that, okay, wait a minute, this guy just drank some water. I think I'm going to, get angry here. I mean, it just seems like he was just becoming hard-hearted or, thanks.
Yeah, that's what happens when we chant with the phones in our hand, right? We're not really chanting, but we're not focusing on the Lord. But see, sometimes that's what we hear, that the sages use their mystical powers for different purposes. And I don't know about, I don't want to say that Durvasa Muni was, he's elevated, definitely, right? But yeah, I think he just saw through his mystical power. They are very, they are not the all-knower, but they are aware of what's happening around them, and probably that. And for the first question, yeah, Sudarshan Chakra is, even in 1 second it could have just cut his throat off, but I don't know, maybe Krishna wanted this pastime to take place where they wanted to glorify. Usually the pastimes are there to glorify the devotees. So Amrish Maharaj, being a wonderful devotee, Krishna wanted to glorify that. And one thing was coming to my mind when I was saying this, I forgot. But Prabhupada Premaji, you wanted to answer something to that, add something?
Hare Krishna. Oh, about the chakra? Yeah, this is on. I was just thinking that the Sudarshan Chakra is Krishna's weapon, so it does whatever Krishna wants it to do. Right? So if he didn't want to kill the Rasa Muni, he just wanted to teach him a lesson. So it was instrumental for that. My question is, because you were talking about how Durvasa, there wasn't actually any offense, but he took offense. So, sometimes that happens to us, that, we say something or we do something, and people take offense all over the place when, we didn't intend anything. Maybe we just said something, made a comment, and they put their own negative spin on it, or they super exaggerated it, or they misunderstood it, or sometimes, if you're just walking down the street or around the temple and you pass a devotee and you're just in your own world, and you don't really notice them, so you don't really smile at them, or you just, whatever, something's on your mind, and you're just and then devotees can be offended. So sometimes I feel like, I don't know, sometimes people come to me later and oh, do you hate me? And I'm like, what? Why would I hate you? Well, you didn't smile at me. I'm like, I probably didn't even notice you, which maybe that's worse. I'll say something which I think is fine, but then after they come back, or I hear from somebody else that, oh, they were really burnt out by what you said, and I'm just like, huh? Sometimes I even say something as a compliment, and then later, oh, she was really hurt by that. I'm like, wait, what? I thought I said a nice thing. So, how do we deal with this? People taking offenses when, how do we, any advice?
I think you already know this probably, but first thing is, we really need to, for the person who's actually, there are times that we are in that position where we take an offense. That's why we always hear that we need to build a lot of tolerance, that yes, devotees are sometimes, they don't mean to harm us, right? Everybody is struggling as devotees, like you said that, right? In that particular time, you're thinking, you're having some thoughts, you're going through something, and then you just miss greeting them. But I think even if probably they come to you later, if somebody comes to me later and says that I have offended them, then instead of me justifying to them, probably actually asking for forgiveness. Like in this case, Amrish Maharaj would ask for forgiveness even if he didn't do anything wrong. But that's the mood of a devotee, that they would, in any case, they do not want to offend a devotee, even if there was nothing they did which meant to be an offense. But in this position, one thing is, okay, I don't have to take offenses because I have to become tolerant. The moment I'm starting to take offenses is because I am so attached to my body, attached to my identity, that how come this person did not greet me, or or sometimes it could be just, oh, this is a very senior person, I really want them to smile at me, just look at me. It could be in that mood also, but we have to build that tolerance, that yes, whatever is the will of the Lord, I need to accept. And the other way around, if I am the reason that somebody has felt offended, probably I would really apologize to them. by really meaning it actually, by saying that, I'm really sorry, I should be more careful. I just didn't notice you, I was in my own world. I'm really sorry if it was something that hurt your emotions. Yeah.
Very nice answer. I was also thinking that, as devotees, we see everything as arrangement by the Lord. So there's so many people that we probably offend that we don't even know, right? But when the chance to know comes around, we have to see it as Krishna's arrangement, And so I heard this one statement that was, in an argument or some kind of situation, that even if you're only 3% at fault, take 100% of that 3%. Mm-hmm. So no matter what, you take 100% of your fault in there. Because one thing too is that we think that maybe things are just relative to what's going on now, but Krishna's playing a game of 3D chess that we don't even know. Yes. Is he humbling us for something we did in the past time? Is he getting us ready for this situation and stuff? Right. So if we look at these as the situation that Krishna's bringing to help me to improve in my devotional service, it doesn't, we don't take so seriously. We take seriously, but not so seriously, the person in front of us, right? Yeah. We see it as Krishna's arrangement, Yes. Let me try to figure out what will make him happy, right?
Yeah. So we should take seriously our actions, how we are responding to people around us, but not so much seriously how others are dealing with us. Especially the Pandavas example, right? They deserved everything. They deserved the share of the land. They deserved whatever. They had their right, and they were Kshatriyas. Still, they accepted whatever atrocities came their way, and they went 12 years, 13 years in for exile and 1 year incognito. And who was Krishna with? The Pandavas. So yes, so wonderful answer, wonderful explanation, Prabhuji. Yes, that there will be times that we will feel that, I am right, but yes, taking that fall, taking that blame that, okay, I need to humble myself through this experience, and maybe Krishna's plan is the best. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji, for blissful narrations to understand the philosophy. I have two questions. I think there is some subtlety in to understand in those. So I want you to explain. My first question is, in the last line of the purport, it says, following the instructions of a devotee is more valuable than following the instructions of Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. So my understanding is, Lord's devotees' instructions are always in line with the Lord. So this sentence, do you think there is some subtlety? Is there something I'm missing?
Yes, thank you.
It feels to me apparently that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought it up. I missed that part. This is so important. See, it's very easy for us to be humble in front of Krishna. We'll come in front of Kalachandji, we'll bow down, we'll probably ask for forgiveness, something we've done. I really offended that devotee, Krishna, please forgive me. But will I go to that devotee and offer my respectful obeisances and actually ask for forgiveness? Or actually listen to, okay, this pujari said, you should not clean the altar like this, but you should clean it like this, right? If Krishna tells me, I will do it. I mean, if that ever happens. But if that devotee tells me, I'll be like, she came after me and she's telling me how to do my job, right? That ego can come in. So that's why following the instructions of a devotee is more valuable, because that humbles us more. That shows our humility. That shows how much we want to leave ego behind and want to surrender to the Lord. But yes, as you said, provided that devotee is instructing in accordance to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra and Krishna. Yeah.
So my second question is, so Krishna resides in every living entity. Like you in the beginning of the class you mentioned, Krishna says my address or the residence is in my devotee's heart. But he is in the heart of every living entity as Paramatma. And when you say, Krishna says, I am like subservient to my devotee and my residence is in his heart. So, but not every living entity is a devotee, but he still resides in the heart. So, there's some subtlety. So, can you explain?
I think because like that pastime in the Bhagavad Gita, when there are two birds, so one bird is looking away and enjoying the fruits of the material world, right? So, Bahirmukha, if we are look away from Krishna, then that living entity who can get the mercy, who's still getting mercy, they're breathing, they're eating, they're getting everything. But there's special mercy of the Lord where the Lord himself will come and protect. It's only for devotees, because devotees completely surrendered to the Lord. It's like they're raising their hands all the time. Krishna, please save me from this material world. Or not that actually. Krishna, please, I want to be engaged in your service. So that melts the heart of Krishna, and he directly comes and protects his devotee, like he came for Prahlad Maharaj. But every living entity has Krishna within them, but are they looking at Krishna? Do they want to be looked by Krishna? Like that free will is there. So Krishna respects free will. So that's why he said that I am within the core of the heart of my devotees who are complete, and I'm dependent on them, who have no material desires. So that is a very term and condition point, that a pure devotee will be somebody who has no material desires and who always wants to just please the Lord. That in that devotee's heart, Krishna is residing. So that's what my understanding is. But if anybody wants to clarify or add on their understanding, yeah. Wonderful questions. Yeah.
I was really appreciating your point about like how we have this like internal pyramid of I'm on top and this person's here and this person, like I'm a senior to this person and that, and how we really need to understand that we're the servant of every devotee. I've been noticing something I've been really working on is my enviness, like it's so subtle sometimes, where you feel like this person doesn't deserve this service, or this person, like somebody else would do this better, or this would be even. There you go. If they did it like that, it would be better. And you're like kind of criticizing how they're even doing it, because, and to me, that's envy. And so I've been thinking about, been really focusing on that lately, and thinking about how I can destroy envy in my heart. And one of the things I came up with was that whenever I notice that I really need to like extra cheer for that person to get closer to Krishna, and Krishna to get closer to that person. But what my question is for you and everybody is, what ways do you guys destroy envy in your heart? Or what could I could use some extra tools.
Shai, what a wonderful reflection. What I've heard from seniors is that when you feel enviousness towards somebody, you serve that person, even if that's not coming with all your heart, because it's not. But at least you're endeavoring to be a servant towards that person, and I've seen that actually works. You can be a servant in many ways. You can glorify that person. You can glorify that person to someone else. We often do the opposite. We find, this person did something, so I'll go to my friend and say, what she did, what this Prabhuji did, right? But is that helping me or helping my friend's consciousness? No. But when I decide, it actually happened with me recently, and I was like, this person did a favor towards me who I thought, I didn't have that great relationship with. And I'm like, now I just want to be grateful to that person for this one thing this devotee has done. Even if that's for entire life, they do so many offenses, I'm taking so many offenses, but I want to see that this person has done this one thing for me, and I'm very grateful. So even if there's a saying, right? With our consciousness, we can find 99 faults in the other person and 99 qualities in me. But if I'm being neutral, I will find like 100 qualities or 99 qualities in the other person, if I want to. But if I want to see the faults, I will see endless faults in them. So that envy can go away through service, and not just service to Kalachanji, but actually serving that person by glorifying them, by rendering some service to them, by giving them prasadam, by giving gifts. So having some exchanges in whatever capacity you can have, That's what I think. And maybe praying for that person, or praying to Krishna actually. Krishna, I know I'm feeling jealousy, I'm feeling enviousness, and I know it's not good for my spiritual life. Please help me. Please, I beg for your mercy. we need to pray, because these are the only things that are actually stopping us from advancing, nothing else. Offenses, because we're already living in a community, we're already understanding Krishna consciousness. I mean, we are at least aware of certain things. But what stops or what slows down our progress is actually the kind of offenses we can commit towards devotees. We're past time, otherwise I would request if you can go back and read the 6 kind of offenses that we commit towards devotees, and if we can avoid that. It's blaspheming devotees, hitting a devotee, not feeling happy within the heart when we see a devotee, not greeting them. So there are many hanti, krindati, vaishnavna, abhinandati. So it's like getting angry on a devotee. This is something we keep facing. So if we can avoid all these offenses, then we can really see the progress in our spiritual life, in our sadhana. Yeah.
Glorify, pray, and serve.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what
Very
I
nice.
understand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we can wrap it up, today's class. Hare Krishna, vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhaivacha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anant Koti Vaishnav Bhakt Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ambarish Maharaj ki jai.